Okay, so today we're going to talk about individualization for sport nutrition. And our objective is going to be to understand the importance of designing a nutrition program to meet the needs and demands of the individual and the lifestyle of the individual. So some individualization considerations to have are the athlete type, the environment type, the activity type, and the phase of training that the athlete is in. So for athlete type, we want to think about males versus females. There will be anatomical and physiological differences there, and the demands of the activity will impact the energy requirements of each of those individuals differently due to those anatomical and physiological differences. So nutritional needs will need to be catered to that. Then younger versus older athletes, a 5-year-old athlete is going to have a much different nutritional requirement than someone who is 45 years old and training. And then also thinking about recreational, experienced, and professional athletes. So recreational, someone that's just playing pickup soccer games. Or experienced would be someone that is in college, for example. And then a professional would be an Olympian of sorts, or a Major League Baseball player. So each of those types of athletes are going to have different nutritional needs because the load of training that they're going to be enduring is going to be quite different to meet the demands of the level that they have reached in their sport. Then we have the activity type. So is it aerobic or endurance type of activity, cycling, running a marathon, long distance swimming, or is it anaerobic? Volleyball is a very anaerobic sport. So short duration bursts, so you're going to need different nutritional requirements for each of those types of activities. Short bursts of energy require lots of glucose on high demand, so focusing on loading up on carbohydrates, things that are high in glucose content. And then also in more endurance or aerobic activities, you're going to run out of those glucose stores, so relying more on fat storage in that situation. And then thinking about competition versus training. Competition, you don't really want to change your nutrition at all. Training phase, you can test and play with things there. And single versus multi-day events, a single event day is going to be less demanding than something that's going to last an entire weekend or weeks, like the Tour de France, for example. Then the activity environment is very important to consider. In cold and altitude type of environments, like these skiers, your body is going to be expending more energy to maintain itself, so you're going to need to refuel with extra fuel in those situations versus when you're in a hot environment or at sea level. In heat, you also need to consider refueling with potassium and sodium types of nutrients to help with electrolyte loss and also hydrate to avoid heat illness as well. And then we have the phase of training. So preseason, you're trying to get strength gains possibly, so you want to increase your nutrient and fuel intake. During season, you want to maintain typically, and then in postseason, you want to recover and try and think about a new plan if you want to enhance for next season. And then in conclusion, we need to make sure that nutrition recommendations are meeting the needs of the individual, type of athlete, the environment, the phase of training, and also just remember that no two athletes are alike.